Hey everybody, this is Brian at Obedia, and our friends over at Lexicon Pro have asked me to do a quick overview video of how to install and authorize Lexicon plugins on the Macintosh operating system. So today, I'm going to be doing an overview of how to install the LXP native Reverb plugin bundle on the Mac. However, one of the great things about the Lexicon plugins is that the installation and authorization of them is the same for all Lexicon Pro plugins. So if you're using a different bundle at home, you should be fine to follow along with me in my video here today. Now, one thing that I should mention before we move forward, and this is very important, ensure that you have a iLok 2 second generation USB dongle connected to your computer. I'll show you a picture of one of those right now. You must make sure that you have one of these dongles in order to authorize these plugins on your system. If you do not have an iLok 2, you will need to purchase one. You can get one of these from most major music retailers. As long as you have an iLok 2, you should be fine to move forward and start installing these plugins. So, what I have here on my desktop is a zip package. That zip archive package contains the files which I need to install the LXP native Reverb plugin bundle. So I'm just going to go ahead and double click on it, and the archive utility is going to begin unzipping these files to my desktop. When the archive utility finishes unzipping these files, you're going to notice that you have a folder which is named after the zip file which you have just unzipped. Now inside of it is a disk image file. I'm simply going to again double click on that file, and this is going to begin mounting the disk image for the LXP native Reverb plugin bundle to my Mac. Now when that disk image opens up, you're going to notice a good number of files inside of this package. The two you're really going to pay attention to is going to be, in this case, the LXP native Reverb Intel installation package, but you'll also notice that there is a PowerPC installation package as well. So for those of you who might be working on older Macs, there is a PowerPC installer for you to make use of. In my case, I'm just going to double click on the LXP native Reverb Intel package because I am using an Intel Mac. Now, the installer is going to open up, and now it's really just a very simple process of simply clicking on the Continue button and following through the pages which follow these various Continue buttons. I'm going to agree to the software license agreement, and then the installer is going to confirm with me how much space is going to be taken up by installing these plugins on my system. As long as I'm okay with that, I simply need to click on the Install button. When I do that, the system is going to ask me to authenticate as myself in order to make sure that it's okay to install the software, and it's going to begin writing the files to my system and installing the plugins. Now, when the installer is done, it's going to remind me that I have to visit iLok.com in order to authorize my plugins, and that I must have a second generation iLok dongle connected to my computer. As long as I'm okay with that, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the Close button, and now I can close all of the windows that are associated with the installation of these plugins. Now, the next step is to open up my web browser and visit iLok.com, and that's ILOK.com, and now I'm going to log into my iLok account. Now, when you are logging into your iLok account, it's important that you leave your iLoks connected to your computer because the iLok website is going to scan and look for those iLoks in order to allow you to install the necessary licenses to them. If you have any issues with your iLok, you'll want to visit the Download tab here on iLok.com and take a look at the installer software for your operating system which you are working on. In my case, again, I am on Mac OS. If you happen to be on Windows, you'll find the installers here on the right-hand side. Download and install both the client installer and the driver installer, and you should be good to go with your iLok. Now then, I'm going to go back to the Manage Licenses tab here on iLok.com, and in order to begin the process of authorizing these plugins on my system, I'm going to look on the left-hand side of the website, and here I'm going to see a link for Redeem License Code. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to be presented with the Redeem License Code page here on iLok.com. And right here, you're going to notice a number of boxes in which I can enter my license code, which is a string of numbers which I am going to be given by Lexicon when I purchase my plugin. Now, you can either manually enter this license code into these boxes, or you can simply copy that code and paste it into the boxes, starting with the first empty box here on the Redeem License Code page. Now, when I do that and I see all of these green check marks listed underneath each of the numbers, I know that my code is good to go, and all I need to do is click on the Get License button. Now, when I click on Get License, this is going to download the license for my Lexicon plugins to my iLok dongles. Now, simply click on Get License, and you will download the appropriate licenses to your iLok dongle. After you've downloaded the appropriate licenses to your iLok dongle, you can go back to your iLok dashboard right here on iLok.com, and you'll notice that I have two iLoks listed, my iLok 1 and my iLok 2. I'm going to click on the Show button underneath Licenses here for the iLok 2, and this is going to confirm for me that I have right here all of the licenses which I have installed from Lexicon on my iLok 2. That means that I am good to go, and I have installed the licenses on my iLok, which means that any computer which I attach my iLok to with the Lexicon software installed, I will be able to make use of these plugins. So I can now close up my web browser, and my final step is to open a digital audio workstation, of course, and make sure that the plugins are working in that workstation. Now then, here I am in Ableton Live, and I'm going to take a look on the left-hand side of my plugin browser, and of course this is going to vary depending on which digital audio workstation you are making use of, but in my case I'm simply going to click on the plugin browser on the left-hand side. I'm going to expand the VST option, and right here I'm going to immediately see my 4 Lexicon plugins which I have installed, the LXP Chamber, Hall, Plate, and Room plugins. All I need to do is find one of these, drag and drop it onto an available audio track, and then I'm going to see the interface for the LXP Native Chamber Reverb plugin available right here on my system. I can start making edits to this and dialing in the appropriate sound for my mix. And of course, as I say, any of the other Lexicon plugins which you have installed, you will be able to access in your digital audio workstation as long as you have followed these options and instructions in order to install and authorize the software on your system. So, again, in quick review for you guys, the first most important thing, of course, is make sure you have an iLok 2 second generation dongle connected to your computer. Then make sure that you have the proper installation files available to you as well on your computer. After you have installed those files, simply open up your web browser and visit iLok.com. Make sure to install the appropriate software for your iLok so that it works on your system. And then simply visit the Manage Licenses tab, click on the Redeem License Code link here on the left-hand side, enter that code into the empty boxes, download your license to your iLok, and when you're all done, you will see your available licenses on your iLok, which means that you are now ready to make use of the plugins inside of your digital audio workstation. And again, as I say, right here inside of Ableton Live, I have opened up and can start making use of the LXP Native Chamber Reverb plugin. And so it's just that easy, guys. I hope that you found this useful and helpful. These plugins sound great, very easy to make use of, and really a whole lot of fun in all digital audio workstations. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy music production to you. Take care.